And to touch on the theta waves and stuff, we were talking about Qnrt therapy before we started this year, and so because you didn't know like too much about it, correct?
No, I ain't no scientist.
Because it was I went to this practitioner and I knew nothing about it whatsoever. I thought it was like a bunch of like voodoo, like hocus pocus, like just like whatever. And let's see, I went there with the goal in mind to help. Well, it was for two things mostly. It was for help because I was having trouble sleeping, and for smoking. I was trying to cut back on smoking, if not like just try and gain some more tools to help quit smoking and all that. So the first couple days they were trying to help me with sleep, and they were hooking up these nodes to my head, and they're picking up all these. I believe I could be wrong on this, but I think it was like the alpha waves or the alpha or beta waves they're trying to detect, and they sat me down in this lazy boy chair, and there was just like this TV right in front of me, and they'd play this video, but it was connected up to this computer, and it was attached to those waves, and it was helping me train to stay in like those certain alpha or whatever waves that help you sleep. It was trying to just train your brain to be in those waves longer. So when those waves were breaking or like inconsistent, then the video would stutter and stuff. So it was more like training, like satisfying for your brain to like keep the video going. And so that was like a 2 or 3 day thing I did for that. And then it was like kind of a multi thing. So I drove there. First thing I would do would be that brain training. That's what that was called. And then let's see. And then we'd go and do the actual Qnrt therapy. So that was, whew, man, yeah. When you have my girlfriend on, she'll be able to give a much better idea of what Qnrt therapy is. It's a sort of trauma-based therapy where it. Oh man,
She'll correct you if you're wrong.
Yeah. He would go through. Let's see. He would go through with a certain. I don't even know what these tools were called, but it was like some sort of. It was like this laser, kind of like it was like a laser pointer of a sense, but it was like in like this little like gun thing. It was like in the shape of like a gun thing, but he would like hold that up to like different parts of your body, and your body would actually react to like that certain like the waves that laser was putting out. I don't know if it was probably different than like a regular laser pointer or something, but your body would actually react to that laser in a certain sense. And what he would be talking to you while he's doing this, and so he'd be he would have your arm. He'd tell you to outstretch your arm, right? And he would ask you questions like true, like things that are just true, like like what color is the sky? Blue. And that's just like he like kind of gauges how true that is. It's like, yep, that's true. And then or like he's detecting like weaknesses or like inconsistencies in your body's like ebb and flow and stuff like that. So he'd put that thing up to like certain parts of your body, and like when he'd go to like a certain part of your body with that laser thing, he'd be feeling your arm the whole time, and if there's like a weakness, like if he puts that there and your arm like is like easier to push down, then he knows that there's a weakness there, and he would try and focus on that certain part of the body. And he would there's another practitioner behind him taking notes on what I needed, and he'd be like listing off like all these things that would be beneficial for me, like supplements and stuff like that. There was and I remember him like putting the laser gun like right here, and like he was saying something about like it was like, oh yeah, you need some like T-Gandhi whatever little supplement thing or whatever, because it was like my arm was like kind of weaker there or something. Anyway, and then after that was done, that wasn't Qnrt therapy right there. That was just I'm not sure what they call that, but then they would he would start asking you questions about your childhood and stuff, and what was it? He would right. He would ask you things about your childhood, like he'd be asking you like, okay, so what age did this problem first start happening in your body? And he would say like age like 3 to 5, 5 to 6, like 7 to 8, and then be like, oh yeah, like 7 to 8, that's when it started happening, because your body knows, like the trauma is like, yeah, like the trauma is like locked into your body, so your body knows. And so he's very, very like in tune with these things, and so he was just like, okay, between the ages of 7 and 8, and then he was asking like, where did this stem from? Did it stem from your father, your mother? And it's like, oh, your mother, okay. And so it was something to do along the lines of what was he saying? It was your mother had trouble. How did he pick up on that, or how did he get to that stage? It ended up being like your mother had trouble dealing with stress, and it was brought onto you at this age, and you didn't know how to deal with it because she didn't know how to deal with it, and then you picked that up, and you were losing sleep. I'm butchering all this exact thing.
You get the premise.
Yeah, but it was you just kind of go down the line and like down the rabbit hole of like where this trauma is like coming from in your body and stuff, and yeah, and it's like but it was like a multi-day thing, like, and it's not just like you can go down this rabbit hole and find like the direct cause, like it's so many different things, but that's just probably like the most like prominent thing that's having an effect. He could go like much deeper to like find other things that are influencing that one other thing too, but because it wasn't very this whole thing wasn't like a very long ordeal. It was like maybe like that brain training was like maybe 15-20 minutes, and then that other thing that he was doing with that was like maybe like 10-15 minutes, and then the Qnrt therapy was like maybe 20 minutes or something like that. But it was like very fast-paced kind of thing. But yeah, that's maybe all of that is like all lumped into Qnrt therapy. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure all those things have like their names, like brain training, and because it's all stands for quantum neural research therapy, I believe. Yeah, when you have Amelia on, she'll be able to go much more in depth in that, because she worked at that healthcare practitioner place for like years, and then she's done like a lot of research. She started there, and then that motivated her to get her degree in marriage and family therapy. Or no, I could be wrong on that. No. She started marriage family therapy, but then after she started working there, that inspired her to get more focused into Qnrt therapy. Because it's very, very, very helpful. It gets to like the root cause of like whatever's happening, rather than just like spraying Lysol on something. Is just like going to the doctor's office and they hand you a pill to be like, okay, well it's like we're taking care of what's happening. We're not taking care of like the root cause of what's causing this in your body. We're just like it's like you have a headache, and we just give you Tylenol to like just mask that, rather than just being like, what does your body need? Like your body needs like water, your body needs sleep, and whatever. But it's like, that's what I really liked about that, that type of medicinal help. I'm not sure if that's what you can call it, but yeah, it just gets to the root cause of the problems, rather than just prescribing pills and medications and all those types of things, because they just mask it. They don't take care of the actual issue.
Right, and then with pills and medication, you have issues that are caused by those most of the time. It's
right. Yeah.
So are you really having a net positive?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. That sounds crazy though. Sounds like it'd be a fun experience.
It's a very, very, very fun, interesting experience. Like what I learned about it is that how much I don't know about that type of, like, how much I don't know about my own body. Like, I thought I had a pretty good idea, but then you go in there and it's like, holy shit, like, I don't know,
Eureka.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that go into, like, your whole, like, way of thinking about everything. And
it's awareness.
Yeah, awareness on, like, how much how you react to things negatively in life is all like majority of those are like based on like past traumas in your life, whether big or small. Like it's like your mom didn't make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when you were 5 years old, and somehow like you feel like neglected in a way, and somehow that's affecting you nowadays. It's like you can never know like truly what you'd have to go like and really delve deep into like all those things.
Yeah, well, when you're that young, like little things seem like big things.
Yeah, right.
So like
right.
it could be like you said, and it's like, oh, it's the end of the world at that time, and though you like realize later on that it's not, that still can stick with you.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense to me, but yeah, I'm messed up.
Yeah.
I got so much trauma. I bet everybody has.
Yeah,
Everybody
has.
has.
Yeah.
We're more sensitive, and then we get traumatized.
Yeah.
Traumatized.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah. There's lots of rabbit holes this could go down. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and somebody thinking that they've dealt with the trauma, or they've been like, okay, enough time's passed, I know something happened, and then they disconnect. Like, it's fine. But then things could still happen years later. Something can trigger it, and like, oh, I'd be reminded, I guess it still exists. I thought that just by ignoring it, it'd be like fine, and just needed some time to get, but it still wasn't putting some work in, which the work sounds mysterious, except for this Qnrt is a direct way to work towards working through the traumas.
Right.
And yes, we must admit we all have traumas, little or big. It doesn't have to be so.
Traumas don't just affect like how you interact with other people. It actually like very like it impacts your body and everything too, because it's like in like ancient Chinese medicine, they would actually have like these body maps of like what parts of your body are like being affected by, like certain other things, like certain things that are connected to like say, I'm no expert on any of this whatsoever, but it's like, say, it's like I'm missing this tooth right here, but I'm sure if you look into like ancient Chinese medicine, they would say that like that particular tooth is connected to like a certain part of your body that was weakened into a state that like, and then that was connected to that, and that caused that tooth to get like weakened to be more vulnerable to breaking and stuff like that. To go into that further, when I was at work, this was like over a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever. And I was working with this one guy, real gung ho, just kind of a fucking asshole, just like trying to like get production going, whatever. Yeah. And I didn't like working with this guy. I worked with him for like maybe 2-3 months, if that. And whenever I'd work with this guy, I was very, very good at just like, trying to just like hold down my reactions to like how he was like talking to everyone. But like, no matter how much I did that, my body was like still being affected by that. And just working with this guy, I was getting these shooting pains in my right shoulder, like these spasms, and like just like I felt like I was getting like electrocuted in this arm. Whoa. And it was just really, really bad. And it wasn't because I was like working that arm harder or anything like that. It was just like, it was something to do with, I went in because I was having like just these just ridiculous like shoulder pains, and I went back in there, and the doctor, I don't know if I should say his name or whatever, because it was, because it was
Dr. Guy.
Yeah, Dr. Guy. Went in to go see Dr. Guy, and he did like the whole spiel, not the brain training, but like did like the whole arm stuff and laser thing and all that, and coming to find out that was related to if you have like arm, like this in particular was the inability to push back. That's what that was caused from.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was like holy shit,
and clearly you couldn't push back from this
like,
guy.
And I couldn't push back because it's like I was like, that's my job to do like there. And it's like I can't like if I'd be pushing back, then I wouldn't be doing my job and I wouldn't have had a job, right?
This shoulder makes so much sense.
Yeah, and it's not being able to push back is also related to like wrist pain or like thumb pain, mostly wrist pain, because it's like being able to push and stuff. But yeah, I did that Qnrt therapy for that, and he did some muscle stretching on that, and then I only had to go in and then after I did my first time, the pain went away. I wasn't experiencing like the shooting pains. I had to go in another time because it's not like you can just do it once and you're just cured. You have to like go back in and like do more like muscle work on there. But I haven't had those pains since I worked with that guy, which is very interesting. I've never even had those pains before up to working with that guy. And then yeah, so it's very interesting on what that type of work can reveal about what's going on in your body, for sure.